Hi friends, it's your pal Scott Garibay, and today we are going to talk about 11 years of Dungeons & Dragons 5e starter sets, and I'm going to rank them in my personal preference. Okay. All right, so I'm going to give myself a mnemonic here, DEP MSBW. Okay. So what is the absolute worst of the starter sets? Without a doubt, the Dungeons and Dragons Rick and Morty starter set is the worst starter set they have ever created in Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. I really, really dislike this starter set, and the reason why is it's an IP starter set, right? So it's Dungeons and Dragons, and and mixed with an intellectual property that is separate from Dungeons and Dragons. And man, oh man, right? We have 5 D&D 5e starter sets, and 3 of them are from intellectual properties. Okay, why on earth did we get this set? Right? We could have had a Star Wars set. We could have had a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle set. We could have had a Batman set. We could have had, a Star Trek set. We could have had. I don't think any intellectual Harry Potter would probably say no, right? If Dungeons and Dragons reached out to J.K. Rowling, she's been really, that might be wrong, because she said yes to Lego, and Lego made a D&D set as well. We could have even gotten a Harry Potter set, right? There are so many intellectual properties that would have just been phenomenal, right? And would have been a very natural fit, and just could have been fantastic, and a blessing, and so I just really feel that the Rick and Morty set jumped the line, right? Like, why on earth that would have been chosen over 100 other types of sets? I think it's a terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. It took a slot from 50 other IPs that would have been a better fit. I think the Dungeons & Dragons Rick and Morty boxed starter set is the absolute worst of all of them. All right, next. What is the next worst? It is definitely Lost Mine of Phandelver. Okay, now, the Lost Mine of Phandelver actually has a very good adventure, okay? However, it was just pure garbage from, in my humble opinion, from a physical product, from being a physical product. I think I bought it and it literally fell apart, right? Like, and the reason why is it was just like a paper. It didn't have a box. That was the problem. The box was like really flimsy, like almost like a magazine cover, right? And it just fell apart. It was so, and the reason why was this was the first starter set out of the gate, right? And so they had to blast this thing out very close to, it came out in 2014, right? So this thing came out with Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, and they focused on and I think everything inside it was fine, but the box was terrible, right? And to me, a starter set, the box is super important, right? Like, you're gonna pick it up, you're gonna bring it, you're gonna do your thing, and you're gonna bring that box, right? And honestly, I own like the red box. I own several of the Beckby's, right? Like, I own basic and advanced, right? And from the 80s, those boxes were better than what they were putting out in 2014. Like, they stood up better. Now, when it comes to boxes, though, nothing beats. So far, nothing has beaten the Essentials box. The Essential box, like, you could, like, I think you could batter a door down with that thing. It's really sturdy. It was filled to the brim. That's another thing. Like, the starter set from 2014 didn't even, like, the stuff in it didn't even fill the flimsy box it was in. It was a bad presentation as a physical product. Okay, all right. Okay, now, the next one chronologically is, okay, I'm going to do a little bit of thinking here, is the Demigorgon. Actually, I'm going, so, you know what? Yeah, I think next, so let me do them out here. Demigorgon, Essentials, and then Stormwreck, and then oh yeah, and then Hellfire and Borderlands. Okay. Whew. So first of all the rest of these are absolute bangers. These are all really, really solid. Okay. So next, I would say, is the Demigorgon set, the Dungeons and Dragons Stranger Things Thessala Hydra set. Okay. This actually had a real Demigorgon in it. The box looked like the old red box from the 1980s. The adventure was very good. It actually made the Upside Down canon to the actual Dungeons and Dragons world, which is incredible. That's an IRL, like, that's connecting Dungeons and Dragons to Hawkins, Indiana, which is astonishing, right? It was really, really good. But at the same time, it also was like putting forward Mike Wheeler's adventure. It was incredible. It was really, really good. So that would be the third to worst. The third, third from worst. Okay. All right. Next is going to be Heroes of the Borderland. All right. Now this isn't even out. How can you rate it, Scott? Well, one, I have gotten to see the material in it. This is going to be an absolutely astonishingly good product. It looks like they have a really nice sturdy box. It's extremely colorful. It has great cards. It's based on an absolute banger adventure, and they didn't shortcut this, right? Like and actually I have a lot of goodwill. I ranked it second to last, and I think the physical product of the Lost Mines of Phandelver was just terrible, but I understand why, right? And one of the things, another thing, they were selling that thing for like $8, right? At one point, I remember you could easily get that thing for $8. So a lot of people were able to start playing Dungeons and Dragons very quickly, very cheaply. That you cannot, take away from that. But I literally did. So, but that needs to be said. This Heroes of the Borderland is the exact opposite. They are saying you're going to pay bank, right? This thing is going to be expensive. I think it's going to be like $50 for, I've heard maybe even high as 60 for this product, and every dime of that looks to be in the box, right? So I would say this is right in the middle, right? So this is in the middle of these products. Okay. So what do we have left? We have Stormwreck left, and we have Hellfire left, and we have the Essentials left. Ooh, that's tough. That is tough. All right. Oh my gosh, I hate doing this. Okay, I gotta put Essentials third from the top. Essentials is phenomenal. It is so good. It had non-player character cards. It had magic item cards. It had a banger, an amazing. Oh crap! I did forget one thing. My favorite dice set in the world is from the Rick and Morty starter set. I actually carry that around with me. Those are I would say that's my primary dice. So while I gave it a lot of flack, I actually those are my favorite dice in the whole world. Like there are these weird, super weird green, like it looks like the same color as the portal. All right, but the Essentials kit had amazing dice in it, and it had a 64-page redux of the book of the rules that was absolutely phenomenal. It had a 64-page Dragon's Fire Peak. The adventure in it is phenomenal, and it happens right there in I think it is it's in Phandelver, right? But the Essentials kit is incredible. It is an absolutely incredible product. Now, that thing was not cheap. It was not cheaply made. It was extremely well done, and I bought 10 of them, right, at $8 a piece. There was an Amazon sale, and I literally bought 10, and they were $8 a piece. And for a year and a half, I gave those things out like candy to everybody who did not play D&D, that even had mild interest. And so, and this is another thing why Hasbro matters so much, right? Like right now, Mothership did a fantastic starter box. It's beautiful. It's this tiny little starter box. And it's crammed filled with goodness. It's a brilliant, beautiful starter box. Only the and it's cost $60, and you can barely find it anywhere. You'll never find it. It's very difficult to find on any shelf, right? And you could never. There's no possible way that Kickstarter product, I'm pretty sure it was Kickstarter, would ever be available for $8, right? But Hasbro can do that because they can print at that kind of scale. And so, and I really think, this is why Dungeons and Dragons beats the OSR and the indies so badly. They're better. They have scale, right? All right. So what do we have left? We have Welcome, and we have Welcome to Hellfire Club, the Essentials Kit, Borders. Okay, let me go through Phandelver, Essentials, Demigorgon, Morty, Storm. Yeah, we have Stormwreck, and we have Welcome to Hellfire Club. Stormwreck is second to the best. That thing was an absolute banger. Beautiful box, beautiful product. I actually own it. I love it. It was, and the highlight of it was the feature of the 1983 Saturday morning cartoons. That thing is beautiful. It was great, and if you were a brand new player and you didn't know who you were looking at, it didn't hurt. Like, you're just like, oh, there's some D&D heroes. But if you're an old head, you're like, oh my gosh, that's that's the people from the 1983 Saturday morning cartoon. So it served in both directions. What is the best starter set we're ever going to get for Dungeons & Dragons? We'll get so far from Dungeons & Dragons 5e, and it is Welcome to the Hellfire Club. This thing is going to be incredible. It is. It's going to drop right at the time when Stranger Things 5 is dropping, which is going to be. So it's literally a celebration in a box, right? And it is all the characters in Eddie Munson, who has died. So this is a celebration of his character's death. And it's a celebration of Joseph Quinn, who is becoming one of the biggest stars in American cinema. And so it's a Hollywood celebration. It's a lore celebration. It is, and it is an absolute celebration of everything that was cool in the 80s, right? Even like it's literally kind of a celebration of that satanic panic, which is wild. And we've gotten to the point where, like, I think people are like, oh, I'm so glad I was persecuted. Like, it's real, because once you go through it, then like it's kind of this personal thing, and it's really wild. And by the way, I did not suffer in the satanic panic. I was very fortunate. But I know people who were, and I've heard many stories. So that's it. That's my order. I actually think that Welcome to Hellfire Club will be the best starter set ever. And I do think the Morty one was like any other IP, man. You could have done a Stars Hollow. It would have been better. Every single word you just heard in this video is my humble opinion. Nothing more, nothing less. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.